In 1912, a writer by the name of Sax Rohmer wrote a short story, Desire a Kiss, featuring a character that would become a staple of early American entertainment and culture, Fu Manchu. Imagine a person, tall, lean, and feline, high-shouldered, with a brow like Shakespeare and a face like Satan, a close-shaven skull, and long, magnetic eyes. Invest him with all the cruel cunning of an entire Eastern race, accumulated in one giant intellect, with all the resources of science past and present. Imagine that awful being, and you have a picture of Dr. Fu Manchu, the yellow pearl incarnate in one man. This is an undeniably racist and stereotypical portrayal of East Asians. It was a character that represented the yellow pearl, a concept that refers to Western fears of the East Asians coming over and disrupting the American values that were supposedly oh so great. This stemmed from things like xenophobia, white supremacy, and labor tensions. Suffice it to say, the average American did not have the best view of East Asians, and stories like Fu Manchu only sought to strengthen this abnormal fear people had. Fast forward to 1970 in Marvel, and sales are down. Now, there is not any concrete data that I could reference and find, but multiple reports cited this to be caused by the departure of most of the great Marvel writers and artists of the 60s. People like Jack Kirby, Steve Ditko, Stan Goldberg, Flo Steinberg. Even the founder of Marvel Comics itself, Martin Goodman, was almost halfway out the door. There was this growing sense of cynicism around the Marvel offices. Reports at the time even said that Stan Lee was waiting out his contract so he can leave for good. Quote, "The comic book market is the worst market there is on the face of the earth for creative talent, and the reasons are numberless and legion," end quote. The CEO of Marvel's parent company gave Lee a double promotion to president and publisher of Marvel Comics, fearing that he might jump ship to their competitors over at DC. And so in 1972, the role of editor-in-chief of Marvel Comics was given to Roy Thomas, who devised a new plan: bring in fresh new blood, young people who grew up in Marvel Comics, but could bring their own twists to the formula that was previously built. And the two most important figures to our story were two young LSD-taking potheads by the name of Jim Starlin and Steve Englehart. The story goes like this. Jim Starlin stayed over at Englehart's house and watched ABC's new show, Kung Fu. This gave them inspiration to go to Marvel and pitch a direct adaptation of the show. The rights, however, were owned by Warner Brothers, DC's parent company, so they invented a new character by the name of Shang Chi. Quote, "I was already doing Doctor Strange, which represented the Western mystical philosophy," Englehart recalled. "I really saw Shang Chi as a chance to do the Eastern mystical philosophy, albeit with a more action-oriented hero than Doctor Strange," end quote. Remember earlier in the video when I talked about Fu Manchu? Well, he comes into relevance now, because Roy Thomas secured the rights to him, insisting on Starlin and Englehart to use him in the comic. So Fu Manchu became Shang-Chi's father. By the time the comic hit the shelves, Starlin read the original Sax Rohmer novels, and he said, quote, "These are the most racist pieces of shit I have ever seen." Fair enough. Soon after the second issue, both guys left the series for their own reasons. At the time, Kung Fu exploded as a genre thanks to Enter the Dragon, starring the late great Bruce Lee. Marvel tasked writer Bill Mensch, Steve Gallacci, Mike Zeck, and the also late great Gene Day to create a now legendary run that spanned 1974 all the way to 1983, until its eventual cancellation due to reportedly poor sales and increasing expenses of using Fu Manchu as a character. But it's now 2021, and Shang-Chi has found a resurgence in the modern era. The movie comes out today at the time recording this video, and the new Shang-Chi series came out, written by Gene Luen Yang. Hopefully I'm not butchering it, but I probably am. And I hope this is a new era for Shang-Chi, where he's actually relevant in the current cultural zeitgeist, where Marvel doesn't cancel any series that regards him after one issue, where he can finally actually matter.